Today's topic is about the Permaweb, the cyberspace, and all the users of the internet, builders, creators, and creatives, and everyone else. But first, let's define what the Permaweb is or what the Permaweb stands for. The Permaweb, also known as permanent web, stands for three major things. It's the web that does not forget, the web that preserves your rights, and the web that cannot be censored. And what does that mean? The web that does not forget means you pay to store your data once, and your data lives on Arweave permanently. So your data cannot be deleted, it cannot be censored, and all those things. A research from Pew Research Center shows that around 38% of websites from 2013 have disappeared, and I'm going to show you this research in a second. So as you can see here, it says 38% of web pages that existed in 2013 are no longer accessible a decade later. So it's a very long research that shows like how all of this was conducted, and I'm going to link that in the description below for those who want to read more. So this one thing just shows us how data is being deleted or censored on the internet. So the internet itself in its current state is an internet that forgets, and that's why we see that first characteristic or advantage of the permaweb, where once your data is stored on Arweave, it stays there permanently. There is also a second factor, which is you only pay once for your data to be stored. There's no need to subscribe and pay recurring fees. You pay once at the time of upload and your data will stay permanently. The second factor is the web that preserves your right. And thanks to Arweave immutability aspect, if you're using, for example, one application and it has these sort of rules at that moment, those rules are immutable, and even the developer, after uploading the app, cannot change those rules. So you're always guaranteed that whatever rights you have at the time of upload, you'll always have those types of rights, which is a very interesting and important fact, because in the current world we've seen most of these applications, they have these sort of rules at the moment, or user rights, and they can revoke them anytime they want, and the user has nothing to do about that. And this changes with the permaweb thanks to the Arweave's immutability. And the last factor is the web that cannot be censored. This is a very important thing, especially these days where big platform and big corporations can censor whatever they want. In this case, you have the freedom of expression, and you can also have access to your digital presence whenever you want, because no one dictates what stays online or what is being taken down or censored. In a sense, there is no single authority, because your data by default is replicated around the world on many Arweave nodes, and that makes it easy for your data to stay online permanently. You might be wondering, how does Arweave achieve all of this? Let's look at the Arweave model. So as I said somewhere before, you pay once and your data is stored permanently. So there is only one upfront fee, and you'll never worry again about paying for your data to be stored, which is an interesting, I think, type of mechanism, since you don't need to worry about subscription. And also the Arweave layer or the Arweave chain supports any type of data, from text to videos to images to PDFs to entire applications. So anything can be uploaded on Arweave, and it's going to be replicated across the whole network of nodes around the world, or networks of miners around the world, which is how we achieve immutability, permanence, and decentralization. Then you might be wondering, like, hey, storage is nice, but storage alone isn't enough in this cyberspace. And yeah, you're right. On top of having permanent storage and all that, you need something more. And that's where the AO computer comes in the picture. And the AO computer is a hyperparallel, infinitely scalable computer built on top of Arweave. What does that mean in practice? The hyperparallel part refers to the fact that within the AO computer, you can have processes running parallel computation without affecting one another or without affecting each other. So you can have an arbitrary numbers of processes running their own tasks and all that in parallel. And it's infinitely scalable in a sense that you can keep scaling the computer by adding other nodes and other components. And with Hyper-Beam coming in, we have this new concept of devices whereby even one node is very modular, in a sense that you can choose what types of devices you add to your node to extend its capability, which is very, very interesting. And this is built on top of Arweave again, which is that one base layer that everything is founded on top of. We're going to talk about the AI computer in deep in another video, but this is just a very high overview. And so with what we've covered previously, we get to this one concept that we call the Permaweb stack, which shows the different components that form the Permaweb. And on top of those components, you can build Permaweb applications. So we have the RIO network, which is sort of the gate to Arweave and the gate to the Permaweb. And RIO stands for Arweave input and output, which means this is sort of the front door, as I said again, to the whole Arweave ecosystem and the Arweave stack. The second layer or the middle layer of the Permaweb stack is AO the computer, the hyper-parallel, infinitely scalable computer, where the computation happens, and this lives on top of Arweave. And down at the bottom of the pyramid, we have Arweave as the storage layer, and this allows for immutable, decentralized, or permanent storage. And you can see the range of applications that you can build on top of the Permaweb stack, and these applications are decentralized, fully decentralized to be precise, and they're immutable and they are distributed across the network, so there is no censorship at any point of the stack. And this opens up to a wide range of new types of application, which is an exciting thing. But you might be thinking, okay, so what? We've seen the benefits of Arweave and all that. Where is like the next step, or what do we do with all that? So if you're a builder, you can see with the stack what you can achieve, right? You can now build fully decentralized applications that are entirely on chain, from the front end to computation to storage. And this is a huge thing in what you're trying to achieve, a more open and censorship resistant cyberspace. And the stack, as I said, you have RIO for input output for name service, you have AO for computation and all that, and then you have at the base layer storage, and you have like other protocols that are being built, like the APAS network for decentralized AI on chain and all that, which is very interesting. And I would encourage builders to look into all that. For creators and creatives, you can finally have full ownership of your work or of your creation, and you can have that on chain with what we call UDL, which is Universal Data License. And this allows you to set the rules to your own creation rather than the platforms setting the rules for you. So a quick example is, if you're, for example, an artist, instead of bending to the rules of YouTube or Spotify or any other platform, you can upload your music directly to Arweave and set the license the way you want it to be or how you value work. And this, you can set the fees, like how you want to collect fees, what percentage and all that, which gives full ownership and full flexibility to creators and creatives. And then we have the Universal Content Marketplace, which you can look into as well. And these are very interesting things for people who want to see what's possible with their creation on Arweave. And lastly, for everyone else, one of the easiest thing you can think of is having this ability to preserve human history on chain and pass that to generations down the line. This is one of those fundamental ideas that brought out what Arweave is today and what the entire ecosystem is excited about. And so you can see there are possibilities on every layer of the users, or on all layers of users, whether a builder, a creative, a creator, or just someone who is trying to do something with permanent storage. Arweave is here for you, and the whole Permaweb stack. So this is already happening, and you can, if you want to see what type of data people are already uploading, you can go to roam.ar.io and see what type of data is already available out there. At the moment, I'm not entirely sure, but I think there is around 310 terabytes of data already uploaded on Arweave. You can actually double check that on the stats website, but I think it's somewhere close to that. And so this is all to just show you how interesting and how important this Permaweb stack is. Arweave, AOA, the computer, RIO, and everything else being built on top of this base layer chain, which is Arweave. And this is why we're all here. And I think I'm very excited to see what people build and what people store on chain permanently. And with all that said, let's build the Permaweb together.